Hello?
Hey, I'm out on the kayak right now, filming a fishing video. They said I have to film new content or something. Anyway, I'm calling because it just really hurts me that you didn't send me a copy of your new book. Shouldn't I be, like, at the top of your list?
I'll try to do that, but if you want me to do that, I have to jump onto this this video right now, okay?
Hey, you know, I'm actually really close to your studio. I brought the boat around.
Yeah. Okay. Alrighty, folks, it's time. Woke TikTok's Dumb Socialist Edition. You've been clamoring for it, and now we will do it.
Don't turn around.
One of the greatest tricks the CIA ever pulled was convincing the American people that socialism doesn't work. You've probably heard it. You've probably heard people be like, socialism sounds great on paper, but it never works.
Yep.
This is always super interesting to me when I hear this, because I always follow it up with a follow-up question. I go, what's your metric for something working? What metric are you using for success?
The first key to success. We gotta get rid of that. Whoa!
Because I personally have run a business on a socialist platform for the past coming up on 11 years. Everyone who works at the company gets equal pay. We don't operate on a for-profit model. We try to break even when there is profit, though. We distribute it up amongst the employees equally. And the business might fail, for sure. Businesses fail. But if it does fail, it will not be because of how payroll was distributed or because we had workplace democracy.
No, actually it is.
It will be because of our need to compete on a free market system.
Goodness gracious. Does she distribute Adderall? First of all, she needs to redistribute her jewelry. I don't know, did she just go down to the local bicycle rack and just take all the bike locks and put them on? And putting aside the aesthetic concerns about hair color and jewelry, I'm just gonna point out that if you and your friends decide that you're gonna open a business and then you distribute the profits equally, that doesn't make you socialist. You're running inside a free market system. Where do you think your money is coming from? Is the government giving you your money? Was there a nationalization of resources? That's stupid. That's just stupid.
You stupid.
No, not.
I mean, when we first started this company, the equity was distributed between several of us equally. That does not make us socialists. That is a decision that we make with one another about what we thought was the best way to divvy up the equity.
Every time somebody suggests free healthcare, fair wages, affordable housing, politicians and billionaires scream, "Oh my God, socialism, communism, end of days." What? Have you ever stopped to ask, why do they want you to fear socialism so badly?
It stinks.
What?
Because the truth is, they're already using it for themselves. What is socialism really? The definition is a system where resources and industry serve the public.
That is incorrect.
No, that's not the definition at all, actually. The definition is the nationalization of the means of production. That's the definition of socialism. Now, you can have systems within a free market system that are more socialistic, like, for example, if you nationalize the healthcare industry, that is a socialist system within a broader non-socialist system. Free markets benefit the people, not just the wealthy. Does that make them socialist in some way? God, I love how you have to just keep changing the definition of socialist in order to achieve your ends here.
Worker protections, universal health care, education without lifelong debt, and wages that keep up with inflation. It sounds pretty good, right? But that's not the version they sell us. We know that. The richest 1% hoard 90% of the wealth.
Good Lord.
They don't want you asking why they get tax breaks while you struggle.
No! Okay, stop it.
What?
The richest 1% don't hoard anything. What is it? First of all, the richest 1% is a bracket. People go in and out of that bracket. Some people will be in the richest 1% today and not in the richest 1% tomorrow. People move up and down that income ladder. This notion that rich people, they own a disproportionate share of the wealth in America. Well, yeah, that's what it means to be rich. They also pay a disproportionate amount of the taxes, as in literally all net taxes in America is paid by the top 50%. All of it.
What?
And it gets more disproportionate as you go up the chain. There's this idiot idea that is promoted by socialists that essentially there's a fixed pie. If you take the fixed pie and you divvy it up in equal parts, everybody will be happier. But the pie isn't fixed. That's the whole reason socialism is a giant fail. It is a redistribution of resources that are already on the table, and that generally has to manifest as a nationalization of the industries themselves. Otherwise, it turns out there are winners and losers in a meritocracy.
Name a single country where socialism worked. Name a single country where capitalism worked. Name a single country that doesn't have a corrupt government because of corporations.
America.
Name a single country where socialism worked. Okay, it seemed to work in Vietnam really great, actually.
No. What no.
What are you talking about?
Vietnam had to move capitalist because they were so poor. Their entire book's written about Vietnam's embrace of capitalism. First of all, I love the idea that government is corrupt because of capitalism. Is the idea that the Soviet government was not corrupt? Or that the Chinese government is not corrupt? Why is it that government would only be corrupt because capitalism, which minimizes the power of government, is in place, as opposed to government being corrupt when government has literally all the power? America, by the way, for the record, is so much less corrupt than other countries around the globe. It is absolutely stunning. It's stunning.
Sorry.
I mean, you have to be just ignorant of how literally the entire world works. Name a country that you think is quote unquote not corrupt. Name it. Name it.
Got him!
I guarantee you it's a capitalist country. I guarantee it. If you're gonna talk to me about Denmark or Norway or Sweden, all of them consider themselves to be capitalist countries with a welfare state.
All I need to know, do you take food stamp?
They never had a famine. Oh, except for the one that killed 2 million people under capitalist rule.
What the f? Wait.
Take it back now, y'all.
2 million people under capitalist rule.
Okay, so, hold up. He is talking about, I assume, the Vietnamese famine of 1944 to 45. That'd be the Vietnamese famine that killed 2 million people. When it was under occupation by Japan.
Bing, bing, bong, bong, bing, bing, bing. You know what that is, right?
An imperialist fascist state with a centralized economy.
They repelled their French colonizers. They successfully defended against the United States invasion. They defended against Chinese invasion. And they liberated Cambodia.
Liberated Cambodia? Like Pol Pot killed 1 million people. So, liberated?
I'm a land farmer, motherfucker.
Supergiant liberation with no downside cost there. Great job, socialists.
Nice job, team.
And by the way, 1 million Vietnamese Bo people who had to flee because they were afraid the government was gonna kill them. So sure, amazing.
Vietnam's life expectancy shot up during this time. At 75.3 years, the life expectancy in Vietnam is much higher than it is in many southern states. The city of Hanoi got a state-of-the-art metro line recently, and Ho Chi Minh City is due to have theirs completed by the end of the year.
Because they went capitalist. Because they went capitalist. Because they went capitalist. Basically, Vietnam was totally flatlined all the way until the 90s when they started embracing capitalism, at which point everything shot up.
Oh, wow. That's my pants.
God, these people are so ignorant. They're so ignorant, it's insane. When inflation jumps, when you hear the national debt is over $37 trillion, you ever think, well, maybe now would be a good time to buy some gold? Well, I've thought that, and I have, in fact, bought significant amounts of gold over the course of the last few months. Whether to protect against the dollar's loss in purchasing power, for peace of mind during global instability, or just for a sensible diversification, Birch Gold Group believes every American should own physical gold. And so along with the Daily Wire, Birch Gold created something special this month. Through September 30th, if you buy from Birch Gold, you will get a signed copy of my brand new book, Lions and Scavengers, plus your very own golden Ben Shapiro bookmark. Ooh, that sounds cool, actually. We released an extremely limited quantity of the autographed books and bookmarks, so text Ben to 989898, claim your eligibility, and start the process. Plus, Birch Gold can help you roll an existing IRA or 401k into an IRA in gold. You're still eligible for a signed copy of Lions and Scavengers. Is it finally time for you to pull the trigger on that? It's very easy. You give them a call, they walk you through the process. Text my name, Ben, to 989898. Claim your eligibility today. Act before September 30th. Again, text Ben to 989898. So loud. Oh, good God. Imperialism. Lenin? We're doing Lenin now? And Trotsky? Ugh. Okay, so that's a lot of Marx and a lot of Engels. I noticed some Trotsky there. The Trotsky is funny because Trotsky is basically ripping on Stalin for having betrayed the revolution. Traitor! Trotsky himself was a gigantic murderer and an awful, evil human being. So that was him talking about why the USSR had actually been betraying the Marxist ideal. That was after Lenin killed an awful lot of people at the beginning of the Russian Revolution and instituted one of the most horrifying systems in the history of humanity. All these Westerners who are making TikTok videos about the glories of socialism, God, I wish they had a time machine and they could finally go live where they want to in 1937 Stalin Russia and see how it worked out for them.
Name a single country.
Oh God, he's back, but he has different hair.
Maybe he's born with it. Or maybe it's Maru-chan.
Name a single country where socialism worked. Okay, China.
China!
In China, socialism lifted over 800...
No, you stupid motherfucker, no! China embraced state capitalism. These are people who know nothing. Communism, which was the economic system largely under Mao, killed 40 million people in the Great Leap Forward. It wasn't until the Chinese began to embrace capitalism in the 1990s and 2000s that they started to see a massive increase in their GDP per capita.
It was the largest and fastest quality of life improvement in human history. What? China's capitalist now. All of China's prosperity happened because China introduced capitalist free markets. Markets aren't actually what makes an economy capitalist.
Here's the definitional shifting. Here we go.
According to Karl Marx, it all has to do with private versus public ownership. Socialism is the process of transferring privately owned companies to the public, controlling them with a worker state. And a staggering 60% of China's market capitalization is owned by public, state-owned enterprises.
No, that's state capitalism. Okay, Marx did not just suggest nationalization of industry, he suggested that you get rid of prices.
Take this, you dirty old high prices! You got me, Marcia! Jesus Christ.
The entire Marxist theory of value is that there is a surplus of value above and beyond the labor, and that surplus of value is the profit margin, and if you redistribute that to the workers, everything gets better. So markets are bad. Markets generate higher prices. They generate monopolies. They generate lower wages. This is the Marxist theory.
Well, that wasn't real Marxism.
It's not just about state ownership of particular businesses. It's about state ownership of everything. State ownership of the industries, getting rid of the free market entirely. Otherwise, what you're talking about is corporatism, in which the government has a stake in essentially privately run businesses. It's mercantilism, is what he's talking about, essentially.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, but socialism could never work in America, right?
Right.
Tell that to Alaska. Every single year, Alaskans get a check from the government just for living there. It's called the Permanent Fund Dividend, and it's literally oil money.
Huh? Oil? Who said something about oil? But you cooking?
Split up and handed out to every resident. Big Oil writes a check to the people. You know what that is? Wealth redistribution. Funded by natural resources, administered by the state.
God, okay, stop. There is a dividend that you receive. It's like a permanent oil fund dividend you get if you're a citizen of Alaska. It amounts to approximately $1,500, $1,600, $1,700 per year in Alaska.
Please, sir, I want some more.
What's the median household income in Alaska? Wait for it. $88,000. So no, it turns out that Alaska doesn't run on socialism. You get a tiny little check every year because Alaska is very oil rich, in the same way that Norway has a gigantic sovereign wealth fund, and they fund a lot of what they're doing because they nationalize their oil industry and then subsidize the rest of what they're doing with it. But Norway is a capitalist country, same thing, except much less so with Alaska.
You know how when you get better at your job and you get more productive, you don't make any more money? Your boss makes more money?
No.
And you don't get to leave early, they just give you more work. Yeah, democratic socialism would fix that. I first heard about democratic socialism 10 years ago with Bernie Sanders.
Hey, I've seen this one. This is a classic.
There was a lot of fear-mongering then, and there's a lot of fear-mongering now, and a lot of it is based on just outright lies. So in a nutshell, democratic socialism is a political democracy and a socially owned economy. You know how we say, we the people have the power of the government? That idea of we the people would also apply to the economy. Think about how fucked up it is that since 1979, worker productivity has gone up 86%, but pay has only gone up 32%. We, the workers, are 86% more productive, but we only get paid 32% more. And that's by design.
So first of all, there's a difference between a wage earner and the person who owns the company, who put in the capital and took the risk. See, here's the thing. If your company goes bankrupt, are you the one who has to foot the bill for that?
No.
Second of all, if you are more productive, you get a raise, or you can leverage that into getting a raise by going to your boss and saying that you are threatening to go elsewhere.
So long, gay boys!
So worker productivity has indeed risen. That is largely because of technology, because you're more productive, because it's you plus technology versus, you without technology back in 1979. Also, what does that mean? It means that the price of goods has gone radically down. Many of the things that you were paying a lot of money for in 1979, you're paying nearly nothing for now. They are much, 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 much cheaper, which is why your living standard today is better than it was in 1979. You have much cooler things to do. You have a phone that you can record your dumb videos about socialism on, and then you can blast it out on services that didn't exist in 1979.
Wow.
So as always, socialists can only defend socialism by not actually representing what socialism actually is. If they ever did that, then they might have to come face to face with the fact that socialism is not only a terrible idea in practice, it is a terrible idea in theory as well, and has killed legitimately hundreds of millions of people.